Welcome to Khilafistan presents the first Muslims in America, the story you never heard. Long before the waves of European settlers reached the shores of America, before Columbus even set foot on the continent, there were other settlers, scholars and explorers, men who prayed facing Mecca, who spoke Arabic and who followed the teachings of Islam. Could it be possible? Could Muslims have arrived in America centuries before Columbus? And what happened to the first Muslim who lived in this land? History tells us that in 1492, Christopher Columbus discovered the Americas, but what if I told you he was not the first? In his own writings, Columbus spoke of seeing a mosque-like structure on a hill in Cuba. Was it just his imagination, or there something more? Historical records suggest that Muslim settlers from West Africa and Muslim Spain may have crossed the ocean centuries before Columbus. The Moors of Al-Andalus, expert shipbuilders and mathematicians, had the knowledge and the technology. Could they have made the journey? But the story of Islam in America does not stop there, because even Muslims did not arrive first. They still played a major role in shaping the country we know today. Between the 16th and 19th centuries, millions of African men, women, and children were forcibly taken from their homelands and brought to America in chains. Among them were Muslims. It is estimated that 15 to 30% of all African slaves brought to America were Muslims. They carried with them their faith, traditions, and Arabic language, even in the darkest times. Some of these men were highly educated scholars, warriors, and even princes, but in America they were stripped of their names, their identities, and their religion. Yet against all odds, some held on. We know their names: Umar ibn Saad, Ayub Suleiman, Yaro Mahmud. These are real people whose stories have been buried by history until now. But here's where things get even from fascinating. One of America's founding fathers, Thomas Jefferson, owned a copy of the Qur'an. Not only that, but he studied it. In 1765, Jefferson purchased a Qur'an in English translation. Some say he wanted to understand Islamic law, others believe he was inspired by it. After all, the Qur'an speaks about justice, freedom, and governance, ideas that would later be written into the US Constitution. So could it be that Islamic teachings helped influence the founding of America itself? Centuries later, Islam would rise again in America, this time through civil rights leaders like McLean and Muhammad Ali. Their message strength, dignity, and standing for justice. And today, Islam is the fastest growing religion in America. From California to New York, mosques stand where once there were none. The story of Muslims in America is not just a thing of the past, it is still being written today. From the first explorers, the enslaved scholars, from the founding fathers to today Muslim Americans, the story of Islam in America is one of struggle, survival, and resilience. History is written by the victors, but sometimes the truth refuses to be erased.